Alrighty, there we go. We'll see how long I can handle wearing this itchy sweater. It's a little itchy. I'm not gonna lie. And I bought it at a grocery store because that was easy. Grocery store Christmas sweaters. All right, coming to a nice, comfortable seat. Give the shoulders a nice, good rollout. They might need a little extra, but like the first week of the holidays behind us, we're gearing up for the next round. So just see if you can kind of roll off any stress that you might still be feeling. And then let's roll forward a few times. All right, and then back again a couple of times. Just feel those shoulder heads press back. Your shoulder blades release down your back. You can take your hands on your thighs. And then your chin is like maybe gently tucked, kind of parallel with the floor. Back of the neck is nice and long. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then you're just going to do that a few times at your pace. You can pause at the top. You can sip in a little extra air at the top if you want to. What do you need right now? And when you've done that several times, you feel good, you can go ahead and seal your lips and you're going to start to inhale through your nose and also exhale through your nose. So you're sealing your lips. You're starting to create that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. So you're finding your Ujjayi breath. And you're letting your attention go to that sound of your breath. So it's like your focal point. It's helping you to quiet the mind, to focus, to get still. It's helping you to arrive for your yoga practice. We're physically here, but sometimes it takes a minute or two to like mentally get into that spot that this is what I'm doing for the next hour. So we use the breath as a tool to help us get there. And because we do this together really regularly, you might notice that as you pause here, as you focus on your breath, as you listen to that sound of your breath, it has this nice effect. It has this calming effect. It's like this muscle memory. It might even feel like a little bit of a dopamine hit, kind of in this nice, mellow way, but something that we look forward to, something that we're familiar with, something that we know is good for us. So maybe just notice how sitting here is having an effect on the quality of your mind state right now. Do a little check-in with your body here. Observe if you've started to grip or hold on anywhere that you don't need to. So that often happens in the shoulders, the neck, tension in the face and jaw. Sometimes we can even clench fingers, toes. And just notice if there's any spots in your body that need to release a little bit. Another moment here. Maybe as you're sitting here and feeling that breath, maybe it feels like you're finding a little more space in your spine. You can especially explore that on the inhale. And as you're finding that length, you're also finding a sense of groundedness. Maybe the exhale helps you to drop into that. So in a way, it's like the breath is stretching us in opposite directions. Good. As you inhale, gently blink your eyes open. All right. And then from here, exhale, just drop your chin towards your chest. Right away, my shoulders always want to get involved. They want to help out. Notice if that's happening for you as well. Soften them down. That might mean that you need to lift your chin a little bit. Visualize your breath, that exhale going to the back of your neck, creating a little space, a little ease. And then moving super, super slow, taking several rounds of breath to get there. Keep the chin tucked, but start to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. You're going to get to spots where you're feeling some sensation. It might be intense, but see if you can be in those places. Just breathe there. It's almost like a little neck massage. And eventually you're going to land with that right ear towards your right shoulder. You're going to feel some intensity on that left side of your neck. You're going to keep your breath smooth and steady. You're going to send a little extra breath to the spots that are tight. If you want to go ahead and release your left fingertips down towards the floor, you can explore playing with that. Some days it can feel really great. Some days it might feel like too much. So we're always like mindful to be attentive to the sensations happening in our body. Just because it worked last week doesn't mean it's going to work this week. Always making little modifications. You might even start to lift that left arm a little bit. I always find this to be quite intense. You're going to feel a little bit of stretch in that armpit chest area, the inseam of the arm. Good. Go ahead and release your arm down. Bring your hand back to your thigh. And then again, just moving slow. Take a few breaths to come back to center. Release those shoulder blades down your back. Release your chin towards your chest. Root into your sit bones. Lengthen through the sides of your waist. And observe how the back of the neck is starting to feel different. Hopefully it feels like you're finding a little more space, a little more ease. And then we move really slow again. There's no rush. We start to explore, stretching out the neck as we bring our left ear towards our left shoulder. And you're going to get to some interesting places. Stay in those spots. Keep the breath moving. Notice how this side feels different. And then if you wanted to release your right fingertips towards the floor, you're welcome to do so. Just keep in mind that this side might feel a lot different. So if it's not working, don't do it. Try it out, explore. Decide to stick with it or skip it. And maybe you start to lift that right arm, and that's going to get really interesting. And by interesting, I mean intense. And you send your breath to the spots that are feeling intense, that are getting a lot of sensation. Good. You can go ahead and release that right hand back down, and then slowly coming back to center. And then let's just move a little with the breath. So let's do an inhale. Chin stays stuck, but you bring right ear towards right. Shoulder, exhale back to center. And then inhale to the left. Exhale, center. So just finding like a little mini neck vinyasa. Feel free to move at your pace. So you're using your breath as your metronome. And just make sure that you feel even. So you finish on that left side, come back to center. And then begin to lift your chin. And let's start to make some circles in our pelvic girdle. Just moving in one direction. These can be big, they can be small. And kind of isolate the movement if that's what feels good right now. And you just might notice that your lower back feels a little tight or tense. Maybe you feel this more, the tightness that might be in the upper spine. So the thoracic area. And let's just gently start to switch directions. Nice work. You can start to make these circles a little smaller so that eventually you're pressing evenly into both sit bones. You're sitting nice and tall in your Tadasana mountain pose. And from here, let's start to move into some cat-cow. So as you inhale, you can rock forward on your sit bones, shoulder heads press back. And then as you exhale, you round to the backs of your sit bones. You drop your chin towards your chest. Inhaling, arching. Good. Exhaling, rounding in. It might feel really nice to close your eyes here. So we're getting the extension and flexion of the spine, moving this forward and back. So really healthy, simple movement to do. Kind of starts to warm the spine up. It also helps us to sort of just assess what's going on. Where are we tight? Where are we feeling pretty good? Where are we hypermobile? And then the other thing that's really nice about this is connecting the movement with the breath. So it has this meditative quality. It's this like rhythm that we're creating in our body and for our brain. A couple more rounds like this. Good. And then inhale. Up to center. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Good. And then let's find a little hip stretching here. So as always, there's a few different options. You can always just stay in Tadasana mountain pose, so legs hips distance apart. If you're wanting a little hip stretch, you could open up your leg to find a warrior two leg. This would be option one. In fact, actually, let's all do this today. Let's just stick with this. Maybe we'll take this into some warrior two too. So walking this right leg off to the right, any amount, just landing with your knee over your ankle. Maybe the foot might be slightly ahead, especially if there's any tenderness in that knee joint. And then we're just going to take our right hand and we're going to gently press back. And you might not have to, that like might be so gentle that nothing is happening at all, especially if your hips are tighter. Also in this variation, you're going to be getting more of a stretch on the inseam of the leg, so the groin area, and that can be an area in the body that's also really tight. And so we're just going to take a few good breaths here, probably more than a few. Making sure, once again, that the shoulders aren't creeping up around the ears. And then let's keep this left hand on our left thigh. And actually right hand to the right thigh. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then exhale, you can kind of press that left hand into that inner left thigh to help you twist to the right a little bit. So not a big twist, and a more gentle. And if this feels good in your body, stay here. If you want to go a little further, maybe you grab a piece of chair behind you with that right hand, and you move towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. As you're doing this, as you're twisting, can you still keep your spine nice and long? Can you keep your shoulders more or less balanced over your sit bones? Nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to unwind, come back to center so your torso is facing forward. Good. And then let's go ahead this time. Inhale, take the arms out wide. As you exhale, twist to the left, and then go ahead and release your hands down. So that left hand is going to land, or right hand rather, is going to land on your left thigh. Left hand behind you. And this twist is probably going to, it might feel a little deeper. You can kind of notice what's going on in your body. You might notice how adding this twist element in the torso kind of changes the stretch that you're getting in the legs as well. So for me, it has intensified the stretch that I'm getting on the inseam of the leg, that right leg. Inhaling for length, for height. Exhaling, you're emptying out, you're twisting in a little deeper. Good, and big inhale here. Exhale, you unwind, you come to center. All right, so we're gonna do a little warrior two. You can keep your legs like this. If you'd like to extend your left leg to straight, you're welcome to take that variation. You could also take that leg off to the side a little bit. You would roll to the inner edge of the leg. So this leg is more neutral. And then again, we want to make sure that our torso is facing forward. So it's nice and square. Release your arms down. And then inhale, reach the arms up so they come to shoulder height. Sometimes they like to creep up around the ears. So soften them down. And then you're just moving your gaze to look out over your right fingertips. It feels really counterintuitive here, but if you can firm muscle to bone in your arm, so it's almost like you're working harder, but in a strange way, it almost feels less. It's actually not easy to hold the arms up like this. That being said, if you ever need to take breaks, you are more than welcome to. Can you find that sound of your breath? Let's spin the right palm up towards the ceiling. Good, and then you're gonna inhale. Little side bend to the right, which is gonna feel so nice. You can just release this left hand down to your leg. Fingertips can dangle. You're getting this nice stretch through this entire right side. It's kind of like a hurt so good sometimes. You might be gazing up underneath that top arm. When you're keeping that breath smooth and steady, inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your nose. Good, one more deep inhale. Full exhale. And then as you inhale, just upright yourself. We pass through our Virabhadrasana 2. And then exhale, release the arms down. You might feel like the feeling is kind of coming back to them. So give the shoulders a little roll out. Even shake the hands a little bit if that feels good. And then if you have this left leg extended, go ahead and walk it in. And from here, one final thing, we're just gonna take a little forward fold. So if you have a table in front of you, that can be really nice. You can just lay your hands down. You can rest your hands on your legs. If you have blocks, you could put those blocks underneath your hands. You don't have to forward fold in very deep. It's going to look different for all of us. We've got different things going on in our bodies. Some of us are more flexible or tighter than others. So the important thing is that you go to a place where you're feeling a little sensation, where you're getting some benefit from the pose, but you don't have to push it beyond that. Notice if you're holding onto your head here. Can you let your chin drop towards your chest, the back of your neck lengthen and release, and really use gravity in this forward fold to help you find a little bit of that. Good. As you inhale, you can just start to slowly roll your way on up. It was a pretty deep forward fold, so sometimes it can feel like you're getting a little bit of a head rush as you come up. So let the world reacclimate. And we will take that to the second side. So we're going to go ahead and walk this right leg in. Find your sit bones, find that nice alignment of knees over ankles. And then we find a little external rotation of this left leg. And again, we're all gonna like walk it out to a different place. It kind of just depends on what's going on, how we're built, how flexible, how much turkey we ate. All right, so as you come into this, you can use your right hand, or your left hand rather, to gently press back. So you find a little more intense hip opening, a little more stretch on the inseam of the leg. You might not have to do much of that at all. And there might be great variation in how this side feels as compared to the other side. And bring your attention back to your breath if you've lost that thread. Sometimes being in these like static poses where we're holding something and it feels a little intense, the breath again becomes this tool to quiet the mind, to focus the mind, to keep us present, even in stretches that can feel a little uncomfortable. All right, so we're gonna find our twist to the left. We've got our hands on our legs. You're gonna especially press against that right thigh to twist to the left. So kind of not like entirely going for it initially. I'm just kind of easing in. And you keep pressing both shoulder heads back. And then of course you have the option to stay here like this, or maybe you grab that piece of chair behind you, shoulder heads pressed back, you wrap those right ribs to the left a little more. Breath smooth and steady. Nice, smooth, deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come back to center. Inhale, stretch the arms out. And then exhale, twist your torso to the right. Take another deep inhale. It's like you have giant wings here. Stretch out. And then exhale. Release your hands down. So this one again might feel a little deeper. You might feel a little more intensity on this left side, lower body, as you're twisting your upper body. You might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Smooth, full, deep inhale. Exhale, unwind here. Release your arms by your sides. And then we inhale, stretch the arms out. Ooh, I did this wrong, I believe. Exhale, release your hands down. So you could stay with that, but if you did want to extend your right leg, you can do that part. Sorry about that. It's in the groove there. All right, and then we find our warrior two. So a few different ways to approach it. And you can just keep your gaze soft and gentle out over those left fingertips. Fire up the muscles in the arms. So work a little harder than you might want to, knowing that it'll actually make it perhaps a little bit easier. So really strong, beautiful pose, really active pose. Not easy per se, but energizing. Builds a lot of upper body strength. I think our warrior poses too, they can build a lot of mental strength because it's not easy holding here like this. Let's flip that left palm up towards the ceiling. Lower body stays exactly the same, but we start to find that side body stretch, which is so nice. So you're really feeling all of this length through the left side of your waist, even extending through those left fingertips. Rolling those right ribs up towards the ceiling, maybe gently gazing up underneath that top arm. All right, let's inhale. Take a beat here, back in our Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, release your hands down and give the shoulders a little roll out here as some of the feeling starts to come back to your arms. And then we are going to find our forward fold here. So if that right leg is extended, go ahead and bring it back in. And then hands on thighs, hands on a piece of wall in front of you, a desk in front of you, blocks. Go ahead and fold in. And just inviting your chin to drop towards your chest. So you're lengthening the back of the neck. And we're just using gravity here to help us find some flexion in the spine, forward folding. Good. As you start to inhale, you can roll on up, move slow. And you might get that little head rush coming up. Let's go ahead and bring this left leg back to center. So you got that hip stretch. Let's do more of a neutral pose. So you might walk your left foot off to the right a little bit, and then we're going to take our right thigh and cross it entirely over that left thigh. So we'll come into a twist here eventually, but first let's go ahead and inhale, take the arms out wide. You're going to give yourself a hug. You're going to take your right arm underneath. So elbows are stacking on top of each other. And then let's just do some shoulder flossing first, and then we'll move this into cat-cow. So just isolating the movement to your shoulders. As you inhale, elbows lift. Your spine stays nice and long. Exhale, elbows release down towards your belly button. Inhaling 2. Exhale, release down. Inhaling, lifting those elbows up 3. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift up 4. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up 5. Good. Exhale, release down. So this time, let's add a little cat-cow movement. So inhale, it's going to be subtle, but you're kind of rocking forward. And then exhale. This feels a little easier to find in my body. You're rounding in. Inhaling, lifting. Good. Exhale, round in. Continuing like this, we've got 3 more. On your final one, you're inhaling for the lift. You're exhaling, rounding in. And then you're going to inhale, tall spine, reach the arms out and up, take them out wide. Deep inhale here. Beautiful. As you exhale, twist to the right, stretch out, giant wingspan, and then go ahead and release your hands down. And you're going to find, I find in my body with my legs like this, I get a little more movement in my trunk as opposed to the twist that we just did in that hip opening pose. Notice if that's true for you. Notice the other spots where you might be feeling this a little differently. So we do these poses, we've done them thousands of times, but there's always still something to explore in each of them, to get curious about. There's always something new to notice. As we improve, as our body changes, we can discover new things in the poses. We can engage muscles that maybe we weren't able to at one point. Good deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come to center. Let's do another forward fold here. So it might not be super deep. It's going to feel different. You can keep your hands on your thighs. You can put them on a table in front of you again. You might find blocks and place your hands there. You can drop your chin towards your chest. go ahead and inhale. Roll your way on up. When you get there, give the shoulders a little roll out. And then go ahead and uncross that right thigh. Pardon me. And then walk your right foot to the left a little bit. Take your left thigh on top. So feel both sit bones pressing. You can think outer hips squeezing in. Inhale, arms come out wide. And then exhale, give yourself that hug. This time we're going to bring the left arm underneath. Beautiful. So elbows stack. And then isolating the movement to the shoulders. Inhale, elbows lift. Spine stays steady. Exhale, release down. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, release. So just flossing out those shoulders. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, release down. Good. Inhale, 2. And 1. Good. And then so this time we start to find a little of the cat-cow action. So you're finding that flexion and an extension in your spine, even if it's really subtle. All right, so this time as you're inhaling up, you reach your arms out, up and out. Deep inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left, stretch out giant wings, and then release your hands down. Press your shoulder heads back. Feel that lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. Maybe you move towards bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder. Good, deep inhale. Exhale, come back to center. And we find our forward fold here. So, rolling on down any amount. Dropping your chin towards your chest. Good, and then you're going to inhale, roll on up. And cross your left thigh. Come back to your nice mountain pose, Tadasana. And then allow your eyelids to close here. So you're sitting tall. And we're going to move into our box breath here. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to continue on your own. Let's say do like four or five more rounds. You can change the count if that feels better. You can just move into quiet meditation if that feels better. Good. And there's no rush. If you're still enjoying your box breath, stick with it. But as you feel complete with that, you're going to move towards a quiet resting pose. Probably not much is going to change. You're going to stay where you are, but the feeling is going to change a little bit. You're going to invite in this idea of surrender. You're going to invite the brain and the body to assimilate the work that we've done together this past hour. You're going to soak up this stillness. And of course, if you feel more comfortable, if you feel more restful, moving into a different shape, you're always welcome to do that. Really just give yourself permission to enjoy these final, quiet, peaceful, restful moments together. Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityo ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. And let your next inhale be deeper. You can open your mouth to sigh, the breath out, let it go, ha. Start to bring some movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers, toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out. Just staying really soft and quiet, your gaze inward. As you're ready, bring your hands in a pile on top of your heart, gently bow your head. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort. We send each other love and gratitude. Just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling with you into the rest of the day and week ahead. Beautiful work today, everybody. Thank you. Good to see you all.